Valve announced an update yesterday to where you can trade up 5 reds from any case into a knife or gloves and 5 stat check reds into a knife. And they also announced retakes, but I don't think... I don't know. It felt more like retakes was their attempt at softening the blow. And with this update, made it to where knives pretty much dropped off up to 60% what they used to be. And same with gloves. However, every single red in Counter-Strike that can trade up to a knife and gloves has pretty much 10x'd. A P90 Asimov, which used to be $10, is now looking at 200 factory new. It's crazy, and it's only the next day that this update's appeared, which means it's gonna get pretty crazy within these 7 days to where all the people that traded the reds into knives on October 22nd have 7 days to then sell those knives. And on the 29th, knives and gloves are gonna drop even more. Cases are gonna be pricier than what they once were due to every single skin in the case going to cost more due to the red now being able to trade up to knives. In turn, people have looked at this update in 2 different ways. Is this the 9/11 of Counter-Strike, or is this the best thing to happen to the casual player? Knives are cheaper than they ever have been before, and they're gonna get a lot cheaper. They're not ever gonna get back to the place that they once were. Within these next 2 weeks, reds are gonna hit a peak and then fall off a little. However, they're never gonna go down to also what they once were. The odd chameleon is never gonna be a $1 red anymore. But reds are gonna hit a peak and then drop a little bit. And once they drop, for the foreseeable future, that's what they're gonna cost. There's 2 sides to this. It's a huge step for Valve due to the Steam market having a cap of 2,000 when you pay for something. For example, I owned a Karambit Marble Fade and it was up to 2,500. Preface, before the update. And now it's like 1,000. On websites like CS Float or similar, where you can cash out for PayPal, Valve doesn't get the revenue from that. So with all these knives dropping, it makes a lot of these knives and gloves down below the $2,000 mark, allowing it to be sold on the Steam market. The other play here is they have trade protection when you go elsewhere, which Valve very much wants all purchases within Counter-Strike to start being exclusively at that store on the community market. In turn, rare knives like emeralds, rubies, sapphires, black pearls, knives that were sought after by wealthy individuals, they're around $20,000 knives, are dropping like crazy. And more are going to be opened and traded up to than ever before. This is the biggest update Counter-Strike's ever released towards something like this. There was no prior indication. There was pump and dumps that people deem are Chinese pump and dumps, to where there's a lot of covert skins, the reds, going up in price insane amounts. And it was weird because it was specifically factory new ones. And a lot of people think that there was insider trading involved, whether it was people that knew that this update was coming out beforehand or Valve employees insider trading. And there's been evidence, quote unquote, released on Twitter and other platforms, but nothing concrete is proven. Counter-Strike's market cap has been growing continuously, reaching around 6 billion market cap. However, after this update, it's gone down 2 billion. What does this mean for Counter-Strike? Well, people that were treating Counter-Strike like a stock market, a lot of them have lost trust in Valve due to this update happening out of the blue after 20 years of Counter-Strike being how it was. And if you're new to Counter-Strike or want to know how these skins are created in the first place, is by gambling. A blue being around 79%, a purple being 15.98%, a pink 3.2%, a red 0.6%, and a gold 0.26. So what does this mean for the future of Counter-Strike? Well, the casual person playing is going to be able to afford a knife. Prices how they were around 7 years ago are going to return for knives. However, reds have shot up to oblivion, and they're going to keep growing until an eventual slight fall. So the average person's going to have a knife. However, people that were using Counter-Strike as a stock market more than not lost trust in this company, changing something that's been in the game since 20 years. And this isn't the first time. This isn't the first Counter-Strike 9/11. We've had trade backs is what people thought were the worst of it. And before that, we had the 7-day rule. What do you think of this change? Do you think Counter-Strike's in a better state? Do you think Valve made the right move here? Ultimately, for the consumer, is this what's best? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to see what your opinion is on this. And if you like these kind of videos, let me know. And if you don't, also let me know, because we'll go back to the funny CS2 videos after this one. Just wanted to put this out there because this is the biggest thing Valve's ever done to the skin market in CS. Alright, see ya. Thank you for watching.